Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get the updates. Really excited for today's video. Actually, I am super nervous. It's a mystery beer. It's Tuesday. On Tuesdays, I try to test my palate. And what better way to do that than a mystery beer? But here's the thing. I just did one like an hour ago. This will be posting same day, but many hours later. But in real time, about an hour ago. And in some ways, I was happy with it. In some ways, I was really mad at myself. I don't want to spoil that one if you didn't watch it. So stop watching this one and go watch that one first. Okay, long enough pause. The orange in that one, it's driving me crazy. I didn't identify it as orange. There were things, being a Keller beer, lager, the fact that I got some apple and pear, I was okay with. I didn't get cranberry at all, even when I knew it was cranberry. But I'm like, maybe there's even like some pineapple, maybe like a slight coconut. It didn't drink like a beer. It could have been a cider even. There were things I was really happy with, and things like the orange where I'm like, man, I'm kicking myself. So I just put dinner in the oven, and I'm like, I'm so mad. I'm so mad at myself. I'm like, well, you got a couple options, man. You can continue being mad. You can take some CBD and move on with your life. You can do another mystery beer. The issue with the mystery beer, though, what if I botch this one? And then I'm going to be like double mad at myself. But I'm going to be an optimist. What if I do really well on this? And then that is the last thing I end with today in terms of my beer consumption. Although I might actually have a third beer because I don't have to work tomorrow. I don't think I cleaned that off. All right. 16-ounce can, so I got a bigger glass this time. Maybe that was my issue. I almost thought maybe it was like wearing a hat, and like the blood, it was like cutting the blood flow in my brain. So I almost didn't wear the hat this time, but my hair's getting a little long on the side, which is going to show how bald I am. I didn't want that forever on the record. So I'm like, no, I'm going to wear this tight hat again. Yeah, let's face it that way. All right, so Joe, looks like you sent me a darker beer. There is some brown in there, but it is pretty darn black. Not quite motor oil, but it does, at least how it's looking, it looks like a stout. I can see a little bit through it at the very bottom, but that's at the very bottom. Like I don't know. At least looking at it, I'm thinking stout, could be porter, too dark for a lot of other things. The head, light mocha, pretty creamy looking. Not creamy, sorry, but like tiny bubbles and like almost like nitro small almost. And then they're kind of breaking up into some smaller ones. Some legs on the glass, nothing too crazy. The lacing goes away relatively quickly. So based on the color, a little bit of legs, the lacing going away quickly, I'm going to assume right now, just with this site, it's a little higher ABV. Let's get into the aroma. Really nice chocolate. Really nice. Not much. There's a little roast, but it's not much. It's much more like a sweet chocolate than like a dark chocolate. Little element of that, don't get me wrong, but it's not like there's not enough roast that it's like coffee or something. So right now I'm getting a very chocolatey experience. A little bit of caramel. So it's desserty that way, where you're getting this nice like Rolo thing, but again, it's not overly sweet, and then there's not enough roast to like, well, that was a weird way to phrase that. There's not a lot of roast, period. This beer, because it's not, at least on the aroma, not super sweet smelling, it's not even like it's yearning for balance of roastiness or even like hoppiness like a black IPA or something. Those are really, although it smells fantastic, and whatever this ends up being, like really nice aroma, there's only a couple notes, so I'm not getting like 20 different things. But it smells good. See about the taste. Cheers. Thanks again, Joe. Oh, make sure, guys, you check out Joe from the Beer Patrol. Sorry, I probably, with my whole stupid spiel at the beginning, didn't even mention that. So it's courtesy of Joe from the Beer Patrol. He was nice enough to send me 6 beers, and this is actually the 4th one I'm doing from him. Cheers. I think this is Sierra Nevada's Narwhal, barrel aged, because I get that nice chocolate, but it's like, it took me a second. It was almost like this dry, I'm going to say tart cherry, which is going to make it sound like it's soured, or no. But then it took me a sec to realize, no, that's oak, I think. And those canned Sierra Nevada narwhals, super oaky. It's funny because I actually have one over here. I was going to do as this coming week's Cellar Saturday beer, and now I kind of wish I had done it already, because then I'd have that flavor more on my palate and would feel a bit more confident. It's not the thickest, stickiest, most oily, whatever, syrupy beer I've ever had. And it is more oak than like a bourbon thing, which, if I'm remembering correctly, is very much that beer. I should have looked at the ABV when I had it, if I'm really going to lean into that. If you told me this was just oak aged, I would definitely believe that. But I don't get spirit. But if it's that beer, it is a spirit barrel. You get that chocolate. It's not the fullest, etc., but it's not like watery either. It's like medium, to kind of use like a somewhat of a Joe-ism, since he's the one who sent it. It's kind of like medium minus, maybe, for the mouth. Excuse me. The flavor is really nice, though. Like, I do like the flavor quite a bit. You get like some sweet chocolate, and then again, not much roast, not much bitterness, but then it does dry out, and I really attribute it to that oak. Yeah, it's gotta be 11.9% ABV. It's gotta be that beer. Nope. Well, nope. Brooklyn. Oh. All right. I don't feel so bad about this. Actually, I don't feel bad about this at all. Brooklyn Black Ops Stout aged in 4 Roses small batch bourbon barrels. Does it have an ABV on it? I can't make any of that out. I've had this beer. I cannot for the life of me remember. 12.4. I mean, yeah, I really thought it was a Sierra Nevada one. Fair enough. So I read on, what was it, 11.9? If that wasn't sitting there, in all honesty, I probably would have guessed probably like 13%. Because it's not like, there is some warmth. It's not as boozy tasting as like a Black Tuesday, obviously, but even like a Bourbon County. But it does have some heft. So I probably would have said 13. So I would have been how far off? This is 12.4. So it would have been 0.6 off. Fair enough. Or maybe maybe I would have tried to be clever and be like, 13 but 0.5 or whatever. Okay, so fair enough, close enough to, I know I read that off. I probably would have said 13 on my own because I'm so bad at ABV. It does remind me of the Narwhal. Narwhal is roastier, so I'll take a point off for that, because that beer should be a little roastier than this one's drinking. I get the oak for sure. I don't get a ton of spirit though, like I was saying, and even knowing it's not that beer, it's this beer, I don't get a ton of the spirit specifically, but I definitely get the oak. I wouldn't have been able to say 4 Roses. And Black Tuesday, or I'm sorry, Black Ops, is it the chocolate stout? And then they use like champagne yeast or something? No, those are hand and seal. I don't think I have any more of these in bottle form, like the non-4 Roses one. Maybe I'm getting my wires crossed. Don't they use like a champagne yeast? Or is that different, one of their big beers? Anyway, how do I think I did? yeah, I mean, I thought it was a Sierra Nevada Narwhal aged in bourbon barrels. It ends up being Brooklyn's beer version of that. I'm going to say I did really well on this, and I know I'm like looking for redemption very actively, but and I kind of cheated a little bit looking at the ABV, so fair enough. But I am admitting I would have guessed higher than it is, but I certainly would say that was in the ballpark. When I had this before, I can't remember if it was bottle or draft. I feel like I thought it wasn't as good as the regular one of theirs. Oh, I'm sorry. The reason I was bringing up the Brooklyn chocolate stout is that's another reason why, if that is the base beer for this, or they riffed off of that, that beer obviously has a lot of chocolate notes based on how much chocolate malt and stuff they're using. Whereas like I nailed the chocolate knowing it wasn't an adjunct, it wasn't cacao nibs added to it, like it was just coming from the beer. So I'm gonna say this might be a little higher than people are willing to give. I'll say B plus, A minus range. It's not, and again, it comes in a can, so like I knew it wasn't like Bourbon County or whatever, but like, it was not 12 ounces like Revolution, but like this is clearly not one of those two companies' barrel aged stout. How to say this? Because I like it and I like the Narwhal. It drinks like although Goose Island is macro, but like it drinks like a mass-produced bourbon barrel-aged stout, whatever that means. Wink, wink. But I do like it. Don't get me wrong. But it's not like knocking my socks off either, like a Revolution, beer. But yeah, I'll say B minus. So people watching are like, are you even thinking you're in the A range? I'll say B minus or B plus, B plus, B plus, B plus. I am going into my evening feeling much better. I wanted to do a third beer. I do have a non-alcoholic beer. So after finishing this and after eating dinner, if I feel up to it, although if I don't do another beer, I don't have a video for Monday. If there was a video yesterday before these two on Tuesday, then I did feel okay after this to do a non-alcoholic beer. Anyway, thanks again, Joe, for sending it. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys check him out, Joe at the Beer Patrol. I will link to his YouTube channel in the description box below. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, show off your bald head on the internet. Cheers.